she was one of the sweetest judges on Celebrity Cupcake Wars.
My favorite of all was your cookie dough buttercream. It's like all of your favorite cookies wrapped up in one.
But Elizabeth Chambers Hammer is so much more. Entrepreneur, philanthropist, Today Show regular, and wife of Hollywood heartthrob, Armie Hammer. Elizabeth and Armie have 2 adorable children, and in 2012, the couple opened up a bake shop in the heart of San Antonio.
Yes, it's a place of love. It's so warm. If you've ever been in the bakery, it just kind of feels like home.
Bird Bakery serves a full menu of artisanal delights made from scratch using Elizabeth's time-honored family recipes.
Every single person who has my banana pudding says, this is the best banana pudding I've ever had. And they're always so surprised. I'm like, obviously, it's a family recipe. And I think it's the ultimate comfort food. It is the custard that my grandmother made for us when we were sick, when we were happy. It was just always what she made for us. And then my mom made it for us. So growing up, I'm the oldest of 4. If there was custard being made, it was a good day. It's just that vanilla with the milk and the eggs. It's just like warms your heart.
In 2016, Elizabeth added a second bird bakery in Dallas, and her recipes have been featured on the Food Network and the Today Show.
It's the ultimate summer comfort food, guys.
Today, Elizabeth is opening up her home to show us what she really cooks for dinner.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth Chambers Hammer, and welcome to my kitchen. The only thing I love to do more than bake is to bake and entertain. Now, this is perfect because it makes setting the table or not setting the table so easy. Whenever I have people over, I just put it on the middle of the table and ta-da! All the silverware you could possibly need. People can help themselves. It's so beautiful. It's so different. People are always wondering what's inside the egg when it's closed, and it is definitely one of my favorite things in the kitchen. But if we have silverware, we're gonna need something to eat. So today I'm making a roasted chicken from Zuni Café in San Francisco, which is my go-to recipe throughout the week. It's super easy. It'll make you feel like a rock star in the kitchen. Your kids will love it. You're gonna have plenty of food for one meal, less food the next day, and you can really play with it. You don't have to follow a recipe exactly. You can kind of just get whatever you have in the fridge, and it is delicious. Typically for this recipe, you'll wanna season it and cover it and leave it in the fridge for 3 days. I don't have time for that. Who has time for that? So what I do is I double or triple up on the ingredients, let it sit for about 30 minutes or pop it right in the oven, and you still get that flavor that you would have if you let it sit. The recipe would usually call for 3 teaspoons of salt and pepper. I just do a tablespoon of both together, mix it up. You just season on the outside and be sure to put plenty of salt and pepper in the cavity. I personally believe that you can never have too much salt and pepper, but that's just me. You can add garlic if you want. Make sure that you put it all throughout the cavity. The next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take a small paring knife and just make 2 little slits, and then take your finger and make some space under the skin so we can put the herbs in there. And you can use anything. You can use sage, you can use rosemary. And remember, the meatier parts require more flavor, so be sure to put as many herbs as you can get in there. And it may not look pretty now, but when it comes out of the oven, it's golden and beautiful, and the herbs are toasted, and your whole house will smell amazing. My kids love this meal. You know, it's pure protein. I serve it usually with a nice roasted vegetable. You can throw it in actually in the oven at the same time as the chicken, which is really nice. I usually do parsnips and carrots and sweet potatoes, and then you have a really nutritious meal, and you have leftovers the next day, and who doesn't want leftovers the next day? So one less meal you have to cook. If you make this chicken for one person, you'll probably be eating it all week. So it was really when I got married that I started making this meal for my husband and myself, and now my children love it. And you really want to flip it over and make sure you get all the herbs there. And just, again, you want to just use your finger to get under the skin because you don't want to pierce too much of the skin. You do want to make sure you have the salt and pepper rubbed all over. I like to make sure you get a lot on the legs because the meatier portions of the chicken do require more of the seasoning, so don't be afraid to get in there. If you prefer to wear gloves, some people are a bit squeamish about raw chicken, you can do that too. But you want to make sure that you keep the herbs in. Honestly, I think the more the merrier. Whenever I make this chicken, everyone thinks I put butter on it. It's so moist and so delicious, but it's not butter. we're not gonna bake the bird in the casserole dish. We're gonna put it in a cast iron skillet. So while you're prepping your chicken, you wanna be sure that you have a cast iron or any skillet with a handle in the oven at 500 degrees. You want that skillet to be piping hot by the time you put the bird on it. I love cast iron because I just love the way it looks, I love the way it tastes, I love knowing that there are no additional additives in my pan, so I always use this cast iron skillet. You're gonna transfer the bird to that skillet. We're gonna take it back to the oven, and the temperature is key. You wanna keep it at 500 degrees for 20 minutes, and after 20 minutes, you're gonna flip it over and reduce your temperature to 475 for another 20 minutes. Then I flip it back over, breast side up, for another 5. You wanna make sure the top is crispy and brown and blistery and delicious. Now you wanna be sure the skin is nice and crispy, a dark brown and blistered. So then we're gonna transfer the bird over to a plate. And this is where the good stuff comes in. Just take a small paring knife and make little slits in the breast and the thighs. And then, this is the good stuff. You're gonna take your pan drippings and pour the clear drippings over the chicken. This is how you're gonna ensure that you have the most moist and most delicious chicken you've ever had. This step makes all the difference in the world. And then take another tablespoon of water, pour it in the pan, swirl it around, get all that goodness, and do it once again. Whenever I make this chicken, everyone thinks I put butter on it. It's so moist and so delicious, but it's not butter. It's actually everything that just came from the pan. I didn't add oil, I didn't add butter. This is all just pan drippings and the juices from the bird. And it is honestly the best chicken you'll ever have. So I am going to cut into our beautiful, crispy, moist on the inside, blistered skin chicken. It looks amazing. I know you're jealous right now. Going back for more. This is all mine. Absolutely delicious. It's all about that salt and that pepper and those high temperatures. And it's under an hour. Easiest recipe in the world.